Our families are also able to access brokerage funds through Castle Hill Youth Services to help begin them setting up their homes. We also have nomination rights to a house with affordable housing where we transition families for up to 18 months. The other part of our team is outreach family support, and they provide home visiting, case management to young families in the Hills and Blacktown areas. They also provide a young mums group and supported playgroup for the residents, ex-residents and local community mums. The groups are a vital pathway to connect young mums to their peers, breaking down isolation and normalising experiences, to early childhood health services. The Early Childhood Clinic conducts clinics at our groups, and to other community resources, resourcing to meet their needs and building resilience. When babies receive helpful and appropriate responses, it gives them confidence that their caregiver is there for them. This confidence helps them to feel more secure as their motor skills develop, to help them venture further from their caregiver. It's the beginning of a relationship where they can turn to it for advice and support. Infants of caregivers who are inconsistent and unpredictable cannot develop emotional regulation, nor can they develop internal working models of their caregivers as trustworthy and of themselves as worthy of care. When infants and their caregivers cannot regulate emotions adaptively and negotiate needed repairs successfully, the patterns of interaction they develop are likely to undermine positive development. In securely attached families, parents and children work together throughout childhood, adolescence and into adulthood to secure a mutually satisfying relationship, one that can meet the needs of its members through developmental changes and the vagaries imposed by the external world. Many of our young parents do not come from such families. They have sought the street after being subjected to violence, abuse and complex family issues including alcoholism, drug addiction and mental health issues, sometimes succumbing to similar issues themselves and sometimes determined not to.
At around age 7, after my dad left our family, I'd get home from school with my 5-year-old sister, and more often than not, Mum wouldn't be there. There was never any food about. I didn't like being hungry, so before it got dark I would gather the courage to walk down to the local pub, and more often than not, she would be there. If we were lucky enough, there'd be a few dollars that I'd spend at the local takeaway. Occasionally Mum would come home with me, but that was only because she'd run out of money. As I got older and Mum became more unwell, I often thought on the way home from school it would be so much easier if we stepped in front of one of the trucks on the busy highway we had to cross. At age 14 I met my first boyfriend. It was heaven. Their family had food and never had the electricity cut off, and I was often allowed to stay over. A year later, they moved away, we lost contact, and I got in with the wrong crowd. At age 17, I was pregnant, suicidal, and in a psychiatric ward. If it hadn't have been for a mental health nurse having faith in me, telling me I could get through this.
Attempts to address the needs of the young homeless must take into account their histories. As with all of us, their earliest patterns of attachment continue to influence their relationships, behaviours, moods and attitudes. When they come to us, the encounter is often fraught with the expectation that our relationship with them will repeat their earlier unsatisfactory or traumatic relationships with caregivers. We cannot undo those relationships, we can't create happy childhoods, but as a service provider, we can generate programs that recognise that relationships cannot be rushed and that preparation for life as a satisfied, self-sufficient adult occurs in the context of relationships that are built over a long period of time. It is essential that those working with homeless youth have a basic understanding of the impact of trauma, particularly the ways in which traumatised young people are vulnerable to overwhelming memories and unmanageable feelings. Experiences that evoke earlier experience of abuse, neglect and abandonment are not only disturbing in and of themselves, but are also re-traumatising for these young people. At Catherine Villa, we recognise that insecure attachments and trauma often coexist. Trauma severely interferes with the neuropsychological capacity to regulate feelings and behaviour. The capacity for self-regulation, along with the capacity for self-soothing, is developed in the context of a relationship with a regulating and soothing other.
The The social worker was able to connect me with Catherine Villa. At first, staff from the Catherine Villa outreach team visit me at home, helping me prepare for the birth. After the birth of the baby, the situation at home was intolerable, and I decided to move into Catherine Villa's fully supported accommodation program and continued school, completing the HSC. I had a caseworker who I met with regularly, and staff were able to put supports in place for my sister and mum. The Catherine Villa program helped me develop parenting skills, giving me routine and structure in my life, something I'd never had and resisted with all my strength. Although I didn't know why, I was totally off the planet with the abuse towards staff. I guess I was angry. Through counselling and working with a parent-infant therapist, I began to understand how my experience of childhood had affected my mental health and behaviour, and the impact this could have on my daughter. After the HSC, I began a 3-year TAFE course with the intention of continuing on to university. I first moved to semi-supported housing through Catherine Villa, then to private rental, and have developed a network of supports. I currently work part-time and our future is looking promising.
Many of our homeless mums have had little experience with positive relationships, unconditional love, respect and acceptance. Children grow to become a reflection of their parents and of the significant others who have been in their lives. They collect experiences and relationships along the way that bring both opportunities and challenges to their own growth and development. From conception onwards, babies and young children carry the dreams of those who care for them and about them. They depend on parents and caregivers to nurture their emotional, physical and cognitive well-being in a manner that balances the need to be both protected by the closeness of the relationship and to be cared for in their journey of separation, independence and growing competence. Our staff endeavour to provide the same kind of balanced support.
I was referred to Catherine Villa from JPET in November 2006 for assistance with my impending birth and for parenting skills. During my stay at Catherine Villa, I was able to access support in all areas of motherhood, including bonding with my baby, routine, nutrition, healthcare, living skills and budgeting. Before coming to Catherine Villa, I was scared of having my baby as I did not have any family support and was unsure of how to care for my baby. While I was resided at Catherine Villa, there was supportive staff that were available 24 hours a day, and in this time I gained the skills and knowledge of confidently care for my baby. Since leaving Catherine Villa in 2007, I met my husband and have gone on to have a second child. I still keep in contact with the women who were also staying at the centre, and also regularly attend the Young Mums group where my children can socialise and I can maintain relationships with other mothers. I am also studying at TAFE so I can go on to support others.
So Catherine Villa provides a safe environment, a secure base, combining relationship-based interventions with individualised management plans to help each young person gradually overcome their traumatic past, develop self-management skills and build a broad range of strengths in positive parenting and social skills, which may later help them to live in the community with less support and supervision. Vulnerable families can be among the most difficult to engage in support services. It takes a committed staff, time, resources and perseverance. The staff at Catherine Villa offer a supportive, non-threatening, flexible and creative approach to parenting and living skills programs. Some of the formalised programs we offer include the Circle of Security, Triple P, Keeping Children Safe, 123 Magic, Emotion Coaching and Parent-Child Interaction Therapy. Much of the work is done in the day-to-day modelling and mentoring of parenting and living skills and positive relationships. Our staff also need consistent experiences that care for their professional well-being in situations that challenge their personal well-being. The work is emotionally challenging and staff receive ongoing support to reflect on their practice. We are supported with supervision by skilled mental health and parent-infant relationship professionals. As the community, as workers at the coalface and organisations with the power to lobby, we do need to put homelessness of children back on the agenda. We need to allocate time and money to implement recommendations in the current reports and implement programs that work, because if we don't, we know that our little ones will be the homeless teenagers of tomorrow. Thank you.